So you're skinny fat, and no matter what you do, you just can't get rid of that last bit of stubborn fat. You've tried dieting, all kinds of cardio workouts, abdominal workouts, and yet the fat, especially around your lower belly and your love handles, just won't budge. You might be so frustrated or maybe even so demotivated that you're thinking about quitting, but I promise you there is a solution for this problem, and the solution is pretty counterintuitive. That's why most people completely miss it and they continue going through the cycle of dieting and doing lots of cardio with no results. Before I just assume that everyone watching this video is on the same page, I do want to mention that diet obviously has a lot to do with this. So if you haven't even tried changing your diet and you're still eating Pop-Tarts and frozen microwavable dinners, then I highly advocate that you first clean up your diet before you move on to this method, because for some of you, simply changing up your diet and switching junk food out for some real, natural, single ingredient alternatives, that can completely change your body around. But if you have already done that, then this video is going to help you a lot with what your next step should be. First, understand what skinny fat is. Typically, a skinny fat person will have a good BMI, which stands for body mass index, and in short, it's a measure of your height to weight ratio. If you have a good BMI, it just means that for your height, you have a good weight. However, the other thing that a typical skinny fat person will have is an elevated body fat percentage. So if you're skinny fat, it tells us two things. It doesn't only tell us that your body fat percentage is high, but it also tells us that your lean body mass is low. Because if both your lean body mass and your body fat percentage were high, then your BMI would not show up as normal. You'd be considered overweight. So as somebody that falls into this category, you can't just continue focusing on burning fat, because that's only going to solve half the problem, and it'll do nothing to address the issue with your lean body mass. That's why your number one goal when you fall into this skinny fat category has to be to build strength. Now I know that might sound surprising. How's building strength going to help you lose that last bit of fat, right? Well, I'm telling you it will, because by building strength, you're going to be solving the bigger issue. As a natural, building strength is one of the only ways and the best ways that you could stimulate protein synthesis and build more muscle while increasing your metabolic rate. Now, I don't want you guys to just go full out into bulk mode, because you can wind up gaining a whole bunch of body fat and find yourself even more frustrated than when you started. I'm going to give you very specific instructions down to the very percentages that I want you to do if you find yourself in this skinny fat predicament, because I've been there before and I know it can be so frustrating, so I do want to help you guys out. So you have two options. One of them involves a lot more discomfort, but if you can make it through the discomfort, then I think you'll be able to fix this a lot faster and more efficiently. The only question you have to ask yourself is, are you willing to get even a little fatter before you get ripped? Now I know most of the people that clicked on this video would probably say, no, I do not want to get any fatter, so I'll start there. If you're dead set on starting to work the fat off, I don't want you to create more drastic of a calorie deficit. I want your deficit to be right around 5 to 10% from your maintenance levels. Now, I know you might have heard me in numerous videos talking about going for a higher caloric deficit, sometimes up to 45% from maintenance. That advice is not for you. Again, the reason why you're having this problem is because of your lean body mass, and you will not fix that by cutting more calories. If you don't know how to find your maintenance calories, you can try my calorie calculator that I'll link up below. But once you have those maintenance numbers, by only reducing a small amount of calories, like 10%, you're going to continue burning a small amount of fat, and you're definitely not going to gain any more fat, while simultaneously giving yourself enough energy and nutrients to continue building strength, which will lead you to building muscle. I want you to keep your workouts consistent for 4 to 6 weeks at a time without changing a thing. So if your chest workout is 3 sets of dumbbell presses, 3 sets of bench presses, 3 sets of flies, and 3 sets of push-ups, I just made that up off the top of my head, but let's say that's your workout. I want you to keep that same workout for 6 weeks straight. I want you to keep it the same, because every time that you do one of those same exercises, I want you to try to up the weight that you're using, even if that means having a temporary drop in the amount of reps that you could do for that exercise. So let's say you up your weight for the dumbbell press and you go from doing 8 reps of a lighter weight to only 6 reps of a heavier weight. That's fine. Your next step is now to work up to 7 reps and then 8 reps with that heavier weight, then up your weight again. That's considered progressive overload, which is an absolutely necessary factor for you to fix this problem. You need to progressively overload your muscles. Now let's say 1 week you're trying to move up in dumbbell press, but you can't. And then you try to move up in bench press and you can't. But then for the flies, you could do 5 extra pounds. Perfect. As long as you're moving up in 1 or 2 exercises every week, even if it's by 2.5 pounds, you're moving in the right direction. At the end of the 6 weeks, you can cycle in some different workouts and exercises, but then once again, lock these new exercises in for 6 weeks straight. Don't change them so you can progressively overload those new exercises. Now, as you're doing this correctly, if the weight on the scale isn't going down, but you look better in the mirror, then you're doing the right thing. Remember, we're after increasing lean body mass and decreasing body fat. We're not after losing weight. The second approach, if you really don't care about temporarily gaining some fat, is to create a small caloric surplus at about 15% above maintenance. Now, it's very important that you're keeping all your calories clean while doing the surplus in order to minimize fat gain. You all know what clean foods are. It's about buying them and eating them. By doing the surplus approach, you're entirely focused on increasing your lean body mass, which is why I like it more if you can tolerate gaining a tiny bit of fat. It's going to help you build strength a lot faster. It's also going to translate into faster muscle gains from more nutrients available and more energy during your workouts. All the while, it's not too high of a surplus to where you're going to just be gaining massive amounts of fat. Now here's the kicker with both of these approaches. Regardless of which one you choose, you have to be patient. Muscle isn't built quite as fast as fat comes off. So I want you to pick one of these approaches, and I want you to really stick out with that approach for a year with an amplified focus on building strength in all your exercises, one by one, week by week, rep by rep. If you actually listen to this exact advice, I'm telling you, this is all you need to turn the whole skinny fat thing around. I'm willing to bet at the end of the year, even if you went the surplus route, any extra fat that you've accumulated can be cut down within 4 to 6 weeks, and under that layer of fat, you'll find a far more aesthetic body than what you started with. You'll go from skinny fat to ripped. But once again, this does require patience. And also remember, this advice is only for the people that have already tried burning the fat by changing their diet. If you haven't tried changing your diet to simply cut some fat, you may want to try that first. That's it, guys. I really hope this video has helped you out. If you're looking for a super simple approach of what to do, like you don't even have to think about it, and you want a coach to guide you through that, visit my website. Right now, we're running a free 6-week challenge where all you have to do to get the challenge for free is actually commit and stick to the plan without cheating and without quitting, because I only want serious people to take part in this challenge. Most of my clients that have already done the program have lost a minimum of 20 pounds or 5% body fat in just 6 short weeks. Since you find yourself in this skinny fat predicament, we're going to aim to get the 5% off. To register for the challenge, click the link below. And seriously, don't wait, because the longer you procrastinate, the less likely you're ever going to do this. Try the challenge. It's going to seriously change your life. The website is gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.